Welcome everyone to episode 29 of the Video Game Book Club. I'm Tubby Mora, and today I'm joined by Lady Bun Buns and Mr. McMahon. Say hello, everyone.
What's up?
Hello.
This time around, we are going to be focusing on Surgeon Simulator 2, Access All Areas. This game was developed and published by Bossa Studios, Bossa, completely butchered that, and was originally released on September 3rd, 2020 for PC. On Surgeon Simulator 2's official website, it reads, quote, "It's time to operate in chaotic multiplayer surgical madness. Add to that thrilling competitive challenges, a story mode plotted by Rihanna Pratchett, and a multiplayer creation mode, and you'll start to scratch the surface of what lies behind the doors of the Bossa Labs medical facility. Get ready to team up for trauma." But that's how the website describes the game. How would everyone here describe the game? And the order of presenting will be Lady Bun Buns, me, Tubby Mora, and then Mr. McMahon. So, question 1. Describe the game in one sentence.
100% accurate depiction of what doctors and surgeons really do in the real world. Period.
100%. This is exactly
100%.
This will get you ready.
Yeah.
This will get you ready for the real world.
Yeah. It's a great simulation. It's a great training for real surgeons, you know?
Yeah.
Next.
So, how I would describe the game? A surgeon simulating game with a lot less surgeon simulating than we originally expected. And this is why we failed med school. Next.
Surgeon Simulator 2 is as medically accurate as it gets when it comes down to performing real-life surgeries. Next.
All right. Question 2. What platform did you play the game on? And briefly describe your playstyle towards the game.
I played it on the PC through Xbox, and my playstyle was a lot of running around and looking at things. I don't know. I just couldn't stop at looking at everything except the patient. You know, and anything and everything that was just sitting around, I was touching it. I was moving it. So my playstyle is distraction. Next.
That was
ADD.
Yeah, I mean, that was a huge part of it. Just most of the time, we're just chucking stuff at each other.
Fiddling.
It's messing around. For me, I played the game with my fellow colleagues here on Xbox Game Pass for the PC. We focused primarily on the main objective, saving the patient. As a certified surgeon who failed out of med school, I specialize in the removal of limbs and body parts. I am well versed in the art of amputation. That was really my specialty when we were playing. And many of my skill points went towards using saws, axes, broomsticks, and large objects to cut body parts off. I'm good at what I do, and my colleagues would agree that I know how to make these surgeries feel like a bloody good time. So I really think you should hire me for this position. But in all honesty, though, really, when it came down to these surgeries, I think most of the time I was the one handling just like the amputation part of everything. And I think McMahon was the one who would typically be the one inserting the new body part. And then Lady Bun Buns was usually the one trying to control the blood loss and everything from all the chaos that was happening. So yeah, we kind of had we didn't really have set roles, but that's what I've noticed when we were playing. We kind of just
established over time.
Yeah, it kind of just happened, for better or worse. I apologize.
Our classic tank healer DPS roles.
Yeah, we're just our group is stacked. Next.
Okay. I played Surgeon Simulator 2 on PC via Xbox Game Pass for free. Played the co-op campaign here with these guys. Taking it level by level, not really bothering to go back to replay any of the other levels that we had already played. To achieve the unlockable cosmetics.
We thought about it. Thought about it for like 5 seconds.
Let's go. Let's keep going. Yeah. But yeah, we had a pretty good system going on. I think it was really cool how we didn't really communicate. All right, this is going to be our roles. It just kind of
started happening.
It fell into place and it worked. And that was cool. We did play a few custom levels, which I enjoyed. And I also dabbled a little bit in the custom level maker, which I thought was pretty neat. Pretty neat. Yeah, that's all. Next.
All right. Question 3. What are 2 things you liked about the game? For these next questions, we will be alternating.
I would say, that's a tough one. I would say what I liked about the game was the cute little customization of the character. It was very small, but it was a great what do you call it? The fact that you could actually customize your character. I mean, we all look forward to those things when we play, right? How can we personalize?
We always try to dress up in purple.
Yeah, so
it's our way of expressing ourselves.
Yeah, purple.
I thought that I liked that, and it was great to team up and make sure that we all had matching clothes. So that was fun. Next.
Oh man, yeah. I've noticed now, like every single game if there is a customization option, always try to do purple. You always try to like throw up gang signs, like the Saints Row gang. Basically, we're trying to recreate. It's pretty funny. That's good though.
Our thing.
Okay, so for me, the first thing that comes to mind that I like about the game is the music. Like when you step into this medical facility and that poppy, go lucky, happy music starts playing, you know in the back of your mind that there's something off about this place. And honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. It's great. The composer of the soundtrack, I looked it up. It's Grandmaster Gareth. This guy, dude, if you're listening to this, you knocked out the park. The music was phenomenal. It's like a wacky, zany mixture of electronic beats, psychedelic tunes, like space age pop. The game soundtrack is awesome. I'm not sure if McManamy and Lady Bun Buns, if you stop to listen to the songs, but I'll provide you a link, but if you go back and you listen to it, it's good. Especially when the songs start to mix in sounds that you would hear in a emergency room, like with the beeps and the boops and the EKG readings. Like it just creates like these really high octane, crazy songs. Like it just becomes this fine blend of orgasmic brain juice. It really helps amplify the atmosphere of these wacky and zany surgeries. It just goes so well with it. And it's great. Like soundtrack is awesome. It's just too bad there wasn't enough surgery in our surgery simulating game to go along with it. But I'll talk about that in the
we'll get into
section.
that.
Yeah. But anyways, Grandmaster Gareth, I tip my surgical mask to you, good sir, because you made one heck of a soundtrack and you did a stellar job with the in-game music. Next.
Oh, that's a good observation. I wish I paid more attention to that. I feel bad now.
Now you're good.
Grandmaster Garrison, whatever your name is. Good job. I'm sorry. I should have paid more attention. One thing I really liked about the game, pretty obvious. I'm sure that everyone here that's played feels the same way. And it's the fact that it was a co-op game.
No, dang it. You took my other thing.
Yeah, everybody else was thinking it. They were all going to say,
right,
you
right.
guys took too long.
Right, that's all yours. Go for it, dude.
I strongly believe that Surgeon Simulator, as wacky and entertaining as it is an experience to be shared with others. I recall playing the first game, the Surgeon Simulator, all those years back, Surgeon Simulator 1, playing the game with my friends. But they weren't playing with me. They were watching me play over my shoulders, and we were all laughing, having a good time. And I remember thinking to myself, man, this would be fun to play with other people. I mean, instead, we just took turns playing.
Yeah.
I also played a bit of this game, Surgeon Simulator 2, by myself. Overall, the experience was honestly, it was plain old depressing. I'd be like, just thinking in my head, man, I wish there was someone here that could see what I just did, because that was pretty funny. That was pretty depressing. Yeah, it's definitely an experience you have to share with other people.
Yeah.
And with you guys and sharing the same experience with all those ridiculous things we did was a dream come true for the franchise. Yeah, so for me, the co-op experience, huge strong point of the game. Next.
Honestly, that was the selling point of the game. That's the only reason why we even gravitate towards it. Well, it's interesting that you mentioned that, because I don't know if the original version of Surgeon Simulator had multiplayer or not, but I know later renditions of the 2013 game, they actually did add multiplayer.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, the one person's controlling left arm, one person's controlling right arm.
That's horrible.
It's great, though. It's hilarious.
I love it.
For added difficulty, playing on the Switch, because Tailman got it on the Switch. We tried playing it. Holy crap. It is intense trying to do motion control. Surgeon Simulator 2013.
Oh my gosh, that's cool.
The old one. Yeah, they had actual motion controls, and then all the buttons it kind of like lined up with your fingers and your thumbs, so it felt like you actually had full control of your fingers. It was still the controls were still awful, but that's what made it great.
Yeah, that's one of the things. It's intentionally awkward.
Yeah, that's part of the fun, though. Trying to perform an impossible surgery with impossible controls.
Mm-hmm. But this is Surgeon Simulator 2. It's a little bit more simple than that.
Yeah. Okay. So, Lady Bun Buns, you got another one thing you liked?
I do.
All right. What you
got? Having played Surgeon Simulator, the first one, it was very, you're in this one spot and you're performing surgery in this one spot. What I liked about Surgeon Simulator 2 is that it was multi-level, meaning that you weren't just on a single level. You were on the second floor, third floor. Mm-hmm. You're in the vent. You're under the table. You're in a box. Yes, it happened. I trapped myself inside. I don't know if you guys knew that, but I was gone for a while because. Oh, okay. Yeah. I accidentally trapped myself inside a box, and I couldn't wiggle myself out till somebody. I think it was you that pulled me out, pulled the box off of my head.
I always found the aftermath. I was like, what is going on?
How does even happen?
I think I was stacking boxes.
And just one of the levels, on you.
And it toppled over, and it just ironically landed right over my head, and I was like, "Uh-oh." So then I tried to like move around, but you're inside of a box. Like, what can you do, right? And I think it was McManny that saw me, and he like helped take it off of my head. Then that was the only way I was freed. Otherwise, I would have been stuck in that box.
Oh, but
yeah. Anyways, it was fun. Like, while you guys were focused on Bob, I was literally running around and touching things and opening things and just exploring like the environment. And that's what I appreciated about it, was that you guys were 3-4 rooms down and I was like up in a vent somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. Like miniature open levels, it felt like.
Yeah.
It was great.
It was
chaotic.
It was yeah. So how well you were able to maneuver, and just it was very smooth. There wasn't any lag there, doors that were meant to be opened were obviously meant to be open, like it wasn't frustrating or anything. Mm-hmm. So it was nice. I like this. That's the other thing I liked about it. Yeah. Next.
So going off of that, how Lady Bun Buns was talking about like how the levels are designed. Like I absolutely love the presentation and overall aesthetic of the game. Like this feeling of a 60s, 70s, like futuristic retro feel, a little hint of dystopia in that hospital. Like there's something crazy going on. It's just, the presentation was awesome. Just like a good example is just the hub world before you even enter the level. It's such a small thing, but adding that like little hub area that you can just play around in, and then those little space tubes that launch you, just like, I think we spent like the first 30 minutes of the game
a good amount of time
just chucking stuff into the space tubes as people were trying to load into the game. But it's just like, it's the small things like that, like their attention to detail and design, and the fact that everything is physics based. Like everything that you're throwing actually has weight to it. Maybe it's not 100% accurate, but like a large object and a small object, they'll fall at different speeds and stuff like that. It's those really small details that I really enjoyed, and it really helped mesh everything together for this crazy 60s, 70s hospital location. It was awesome. So they did a great job with that. Next.
Yeah, I agree. The other thing I liked about the game was the creation mode and user generated levels.
Yeah.
I think I spent a little more time in that than you guys, because that's where I was playing by myself. But this was a really neat addition to the game, I think. Given how relatively short the campaign was, it was nice for the developers to provide alternative ways for you to enjoy the game and really make the most of it. The creation mode offered so many options for customizability to make the level just the way you imagine. And I spent a bit of time trying to make a level myself.
You made a level?
I tried.
Let's go play it.
Nope. Screw
Can
that.
we try it real quick? Can we pause this?
No, I scrapped it in the end because I was feeling too lazy and not motivated to finish. Because I saw what other people were making, and I was trying to like, see if I could match that. And I was being a little too ambitious, so this is my own fault.
At least you tried it. At least you tried it.
I mean, despite that, the creation mode was really well made, and then the user generated levels were a whole different ball game from the main campaign. I mean, for example, there's a body part pinball. There was that was crazy. I was like, what the heck is going on here? There was like a Tomb Raider inspired level, and then like the ones that we played where there was like the tower defense.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Yeah, it's really hard to explain all the levels in detail, but it was so crazy, and I was honestly impressed to see the kind of stuff that people were coming up with in this simulator, it's a surgeon simulator, based game. Like it had nothing to do with surgery, but it was like, what the heck is going on? This is fun.
So what you're saying is the community made better levels than the developers.
I mean, I won't necessarily.
Oh, you're right. These are the things we like. Sorry. Let
perspective.
I'll reel that back. I apologize.
Who said that? Next.
No one said that. All right. So here we go. There's the question we're looking for. Question 4. What are 2 things you did not like, and how would you improve it? And we're just gonna alternate like before.
The game's too short. The campaign's too short. I don't know. The game was just too short. I don't know.
How would you improve it? Add more levels.
How would I improve it? Add more levels. Definitely. Most definitely. Why does Bob have to come out from the floor? Why couldn't Bob come down from the ceiling?
Yeah.
On Bob. A platform with, if you're gonna, I don't know, if you're gonna make this game crazy and have all these crazy things happening, why couldn't Bob look kind of crazy?
Yeah. Why can't Bob have 2 heads?
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not? Why couldn't Bob have accidentally, drop a body part in some green toxic goo, and then I don't know, you just go wild with that idea. It's just so the campaign and everything in it was short. I really wish there was. I wish there was more to do.
yeah. Especially with the way the game is like set up. There's like all these systems in place, all these physics programmed in there, and it's just yeah.
Yeah. Next.
Okay, so going off of what Lady Bun Bun said, the game being too short, and kind of what I mentioned earlier. The thing I did not like about the game, and what I think a lot of people did not like about the game, was the lack of surgeon simulating in our surgeon simulating game. It honestly, it felt like we spent more time trying to solve environmental puzzles and trying to figure out where to go more than like actually performing surgery. I wish the game would hone in on what made the first surgeon simulator game so great. The actual surgeon simulating, It's like, to help improve this, like I thought about ways they could have done this. I would honestly reroute the whole puzzle solving elements from the environment, because I don't mind it. It was just too much. Like if they were to take those ideas, those puzzle solving elements, and place them more on the surgeon simulating aspect. For example, I came up with a few ideas here. So let's say it's kind of funny because it's similar to what Lady Bun Buns was saying, but let's say our boy Bob. Here's the scenario. Our boy Bob is on the operating table. He's completely frozen solid. While drinking a Coke, he choked on an ice cube, and now he became a literal ice cube. Well, in order to perform, let's say, arm replacement surgery, we would need to carefully use let's say, a blowtorch to melt the ice away, or use a pickaxe to get to the body part we need, like slowly picking away at the ice in order to amputate it. But if we aren't careful, or we're too aggressive when thawing out the ice, we could possibly shatter the frozen limbs off the body, which would create a ton of blood loss. Maybe we burn into the body, which would make us fail the mission. It's just like things like that. Take those puzzle solving elements, but focus it more on the surgeon simulating portion of it. Like I think that's what a lot of people were upset about when this game came out. Like it sucks because everything revolving around the game, like the music presentation is great. It's just as ambitious as they were to make this into a multiplayer game, it's just they lost that core excitement of the whole surgeon simulating part, and they just seem to have they lost their focus when developing this game, and it's a shame. And the reception of this it's understandable why people were a little upset with how it came out. It's sad to say, but yeah, that's my thing. The lack of surgeon simulating. The puzzles, great, it helps spice things up, but just get those puzzles, take them, and focus it more into the actual surgeon simulating. So that's my thing. That's my thing.
Wait a second. This is Surgeon Simulator? I thought this was Mystery Room Simulator.
Yeah, exactly right. Escape room simulator.
Escape room simulator.
Yeah. But I mean, I got a little bit more to say, but I'll wait until the next point. So I'll pass it over to Mr. McMahon-Meat next.
All right, great. I don't know. That's such a strong point. Like I just have to add on to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do it.
Fans of the first game will know what I'm talking about, but the surgery part of the game felt bland. It was bland. That's all there is to it. It was bland. This game, it took a very different route from the first, and I hate to bag on Surgeon Simulator 2 by comparing it to its predecessor, but I just feel like I have to mention it because I feel like I could have kept and implemented that surgery aspect into Surgeon Simulator 2 while keeping the game the same way it was, really. I mean, the focus of the original Surgeon Simulator was strictly surgery, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and the surgery portion of the first game was so in-depth, and that's what made it as exciting as it was. Like, for example, the organs in the first game were they were extra bloody, and depending on how abusive you were to each organ, and each organ, they all had like different physics depending on how you interacted it with. Like intestines, for example, they looked and felt like intestines because when you would pick it up, it would unravel like a spaghetti noodle as you removed it from the patient. But in Surgeon Simulator 2, you remove the intestine. You remove the intestines. It's a potato. It's a potato. That's all it is. I mean, I get that the devs in this game they wanted to try something new. Turning the game into a glorified escape room with co-op. But they could have at least implemented the in-depth surgery aspect into this one to make it even more fun. I think, I was thinking that maybe they had to make the surgery less complex in this game because there's multiple people involved. Whereas the first game was only single player because of how complex the surgery was in the first game. I think it might have been a little too challenging. And one minor wrong move would mean killing the patient and restarting the level.
Classic.
And I think the developers they took that into account, and they're thinking that if they kept the surgery the same in the co-op experience, it would be too crowded around Bob, and a little too frustrating rather than fun. So I guess I understand that, but even then, I'd improve this part of the game, I guess, by keeping the in-depth surgery aspect of the game into the second, because that's really what made Surgeon Simulator.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't care if it make the game more challenging, more people involved. That's fine. We can work it out together. That's the whole point of a co-op experience. But this was a challenge that I personally craved after having played the first Surgeon Simulator. Just where's their surgery?
The surgery.
I mean, it was like what, like 10% of our gameplay was removing and replacing body parts, and the rest was
escape
navigating room. Around the escape room essentially. But
I'll follow up again on the second
cool
of this.
All right, awesome. Next,
all right, back to Lady Bun Buns.
Oh man, there's just too much stuff everywhere. Okay.
It's too messy.
Too messy.
No, it's too messy, and almost everything was identical. It was the same stuff in every corner. These were objects that were different shapes and sizes that you can kick. And when I was looking for strange and odd objects to put inside Bob, because that was my main mission, while Tebimura and Mr. McMahon were doing busy surgeon men things, I was busy messing around with the environment and looking for little small objects. So throwing in a donut, throwing in a flashlight, just but there wasn't enough small things to throw in there.
Like in the body?
I don't know if you guys noticed that. Yeah, to throw inside the body cavity, there wasn't enough. Like I wanted to throw a pill bottle in there, but then I couldn't because you had to put all the pack of 10. Yeah, that's bigger than Bob's cavity.
Efficiency.
You couldn't throw it in there.
It's a wholesale because chest cavity.
I tried to throw. I tried to throw. I don't know if I did. Maybe I didn't. But I found a coffee mug, but then I couldn't even pick it up. So it was like there's a lot of.
Oh, there was just a lot of stuff. Did you want it to be more like? Did you want it to be more granular? Like things would separate more. Like is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I guess. I guess so. Yeah, that would have been more fun because here we are doing surgery in a person. And what's one person's worst nightmare is having stuff found inside their cavity or whatever. So I was like, man, I want to throw that in there. I want to throw that teddy bear inside that. Like I wanted to do all these things. And when I went to go grab it, I was like, oh, you can't actually move that. Oh, that's actually bigger than Bob's head. Or oh, that's not going to fit in there. So yeah, that's. I know it sounds kind of strange, but that was one of the things that I was looking forward to was to be able to do something crazy and wacky like that. And I couldn't.
So it's like they did have I know you're talking about, like they did have a lot of physics built into the game. Like a lot of it was you could interact with it, but you just want them to take it a step further. Sounds like.
Yeah, because if you're going to flood this room with pill bottles, well, then why couldn't you pick some of those up? Or if you're going to put, a gelatinous dessert on a plate, well, why couldn't I have picked up the gelatinous part, left the plate, so I could throw it inside?
I gotcha.
Throw it inside Bob, or throw it at one of you guys, or, something. It's just, I don't know.
I gotcha.
I feel you.
This game is all about using your hands, but...
Yeah, it is.
Can't really do much. So, anyway, sorry. I know that was kind of around. That was kind of around and around, but you get what I'm saying, right?
Yes. I got what you're saying. A little bit more. Okay. It wouldn't hurt to have more interactivity with the environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Not just a bunch of crap everywhere to jump over or to push aside, or Yeah. I was hoping to do more.
Or even like adding something simple like breaking the windows. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, that would have been fun. So you can grab a chair, break the window.
Yeah, you're like, F this surgery. Yeah, and you just chuck a chair across the room. That would have been great.
Use a shard of glass to cut off an arm.
Ooh, genius. Yeah. Starting to say
I'm taking notes to do to make the custom levels, so let's go.
All right. Oh, man.
Next.
Okay, so pretty much building off of what we said earlier, I'm just going to go a little bit deeper into it. Again, there is a lack of variety, like what Mr. McMahon said, when it comes to the actual surgery itself. Like it was always the same set of objectives: replace an arm, replace a leg, replace an organ. Which it's fine if it would have been fine, but just. You have to spice it up a little bit. Allow the level to complement or alter how the surgery would progress. Just add that extra layer of making it more interesting, but it didn't happen. Like eventually, and I kid you not, it got to the point where we would literally just rip an arm or leg or head off and just immediately put a new one on because there wasn't much to it. It was the more
that's
the
all
same.
There was to it.
Yeah, that's all there was to it. There wasn't any penalty for doing it that way. It didn't matter, and it just was the same thing throughout the whole game. Now we keep referencing it because how can you not? It's the sequel to the game, but the original 2013 Surgeon Simulator was awesome because as you progress through the game, sure, the objective of surgery would remain the same, heart transplant, brain transplant, etc. But the overall level itself would force the player to change up their tactics. Like, for instance, in one level, you had to perform heart surgery in the back of a moving ambulance. Like, you had to be careful not to let your tools fly out of the vehicle. And another level, you had to perform brain surgery while floating in a spaceship. Like, this created another depth of gameplay due to the whole gravity mechanic. And it's like these kinds of things I wish Surgeon Simulator 2 had. Like, I just wish it had environments that would alter how the surgeries would be performed. I think if they had a variety of different environments and levels that would change how surgeries would need to be performed or tackled, like, I really think that would help spice up the surgery portion of everything, and everything would feel, more fresh and unique. Just kind of like what Lady Bun Buns was saying, right? You have all these things of, you can just chuck everything, throw everything around, but why not use that to help complement the surgery? Like, what if a room was split in half, and then because it's cooperative, we would have to pass tools to each other, across a chasm or something. I don't know. Just like your game is already crazy and insane. Just take it that next level further, and quit playing it so safe. AKA, go look at what the golf does.
Oh no!
Because that's kind of what this game like lends itself to be, like that kind of crazy. But it's just it kind of stops before it gets to that point, which is unfortunate. But yeah, that's my thing. Make the levels help complement the surgery. Don't let the surgery just be an add-on to the levels. Next.
Awesome.
We're going to town on this game, aren't we?
It's fine. It's constructive.
Yeah, it's constructive. Yeah.
Okay. So, second thing I didn't like.
Yeah, F this. I'm just kidding. It's not that bad. It's sort of, it's constructive criticism.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, there was one part in particular of the game that was a huge turn off for me.
Shit.
It was a huge turn off for me. One part in particular, and when I get into it, you guys will know what I'm talking about.
I already know.
There was this one level. It was about halfway through the game. I spent maybe an hour, I don't know, maybe more, looking for a single fuse to power something. We eventually found this hardly visible vent. It was high up on a wall somewhere. Where we frustratingly battled with our overly exaggerated physics to build a cardboard box staircase to climb into. Well, I mean, while it felt good to have figured this out on our own, to this day, I still have no clue if this is how the developers actually intended for the players to progress. I mean, I appreciate the freedom and being rewarded for exploration in this game. But this single moment of this level was so frustrating to me that I felt like the devs could have improved this somehow.
Yeah.
And I put quite a bit of thought into it, and I was thinking, like, maybe, for example, if a player hasn't triggered any form of progression after, say, maybe 5 or 10 minutes, the game could verbally hint the player in the right direction.
Like that lady in Intercom, right?
Exactly. Every level has someone talking to you in the background. So, I mean, the voice could be like, hey, did you see that vent up there? Maybe there's a fuse in there. Or like, I don't know. But I would make this an option that you could freely toggle on or off at any point, like in the options or something. So if you're into this kind of a challenge, you can, leave the hints off. But if you're on a level for over an hour, you're starting to find like, hey, I'm not having fun anymore, let me get a hint. I mean, on the other end, this would save players from running circles, wasting time and getting frustrated like I was at this point of the game. I would have been fine turning on that hint thing, but I really didn't want to go on to Google or anything like that. Like, just like, hey,
search it up.
How do I progress in this level? yeah, but I'll take a hint. Just don't spoil it for me. Like, that's why I didn't want to Google it. But yeah, give us a hint, maybe. That'd be nice.
Hint system would be cool.
How can you make this? How can you improve it? Drop a hint.
Drop a hint. Seriously, that's all it would take. That would have saved me. Like,
I would have saved us a lot of time.
Yeah.
See what we look up like one of the puzzles like twice.
Oh yeah.
Jeez. But you're right though. That whole box section, like, it felt off. And what's bad is like that whole box stacking thing, that wasn't used anywhere else.
Yeah, it felt really out of place.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yes,
this
it
can't be
was.
right.
Was it?
There was a part. It felt like it was the right thing to do, so I was so hyper bent on like building a box pyramid, just to find out that when the fuse was found, there was a freaking platform under all that. So I didn't actually need to do that, but that's what I did the entire game. Was build this tower of boxes and get stuck in it too.
Yeah, to this day, we don't even know if that was how you're supposed to do it.
That was slightly irritating.
So, which, you know, it's not bad if a game like gives you the freedom to tackle puzzles how you want, but it's just like it didn't seem like we were supposed to do it like that, you know? It's like, so because there are some puzzle games out there where it gives you all these tools and mechanics and you kind of just you figure it out. Like Breath of the Wild is a good example where a lot of the dungeons you can tackle it in so many different ways, but this game is like it felt so awkward. Like, why only in that one particular instance did we have to do it that way? This is like, it was just so specific. I don't know. It felt off. It felt off for sure. Yeah, like what you were saying. But yeah, let's move on to the last question here. Question 5. What is your final verdict and final rating from 0 to 10 using a 0.5 scale?
I gave this game out of 10. I gave this game a 2.
Dang!
Whoa!
Game sucks.
Yeah, let me be a little bit more serious.
All right.
Surgeon Simulator 2 gets a 2 out of 10 for me. I don't have much to say for the final verdict other than there were more frustrating parts than me actually having fun. Like a giggle or two there, definitely. A hard laugh, like, what the heck, did that just really happen? Yeah, definitely. But most of the time, running around, trying to progress, and just I don't even know the storyline. That's how bad it is. Like I usually pay attention to these things, you know, because I try to appreciate what the devs have tried to put together. But I seriously spent more time trying to progress forward and move forward that I just couldn't enjoy the game. So unfortunately, I'm giving this game a 2 out of 10.
Did you like this? So do you think that this game is worse than The Ascent?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yikes!
Yikes! All right.
Because at least since you're going to open that door, because at least with The Ascent, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that they will take, you know, everybody's opinions, everybody's experience, and then make the game a little bit better, and then throw another version out there. With Surgeon Simulator, they had Surgeon Simulator 1 to go off of, right? The Ascent was the first of its kind. So, but with Surgeon Simulator 2, I'm actually not hopeful that it'll get any better, unfortunately.
Dang.
Yeah, but with The Ascent, I gave that one a low score too, but there were a lot of parts that I did like about it too. You know?
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. So, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Just my opinion.
It's your opinion.
Subjective.
Yeah. Okay.
The art style was cool though. That's for sure.
The art style?
Yeah.
Yeah. Love it. So
Like it.
like it, love it. Gotta have it. So for me, God. Okay, so when it comes to sequels for anything, whether it's video games, movies, etc., the first thought, and it always happens, is to make a sequel bigger, badder, and beefier than the original. That's just how it is. And Surgeon Simulator 2 does that in ways, you know. A game has expanded from single player to full online co-op. It's, again, as we said before, it's one of the main reasons we decided to play this game in the first place. It has an incredibly bopping soundtrack to mutilate limbs to. Freaking love it. There are quite a few different levels in large expansive areas like Lady Bun Bun was talking about. It gives you this nice little playground. No, not little, but pretty big playground for you and your friends to mess around in. And the game even has in my opinion, was an interesting overarching story. up to a certain point. Like
There was a story.
There was a story, and then there was like a mystery. But the way it all like wrapped up, I'm like, there really was no stakes in this at all.
You'll have to keep me up to date.
Yeah. We'll talk about the story after.
Okay.
And visually the game got a complete facelift. Like the overall design of the game is fantastic, and it's just appealing to look at. Futuristic retro vibes everywhere. So like all this stuff is awesome, and I really commend the design team, the sound design team, just all of them. Like they did a great job. However, along the way, the game seems to have lost the core DNA and reason why so many people gravitated towards the first game in the first place. And when we keep saying it, it's the surgeon simulating part of it. The reason why the first game was so appealing to everyone back then was because the controls were intentionally made awful, which led to a lot of hilarious moments when trying to perform a surgical operation. And yeah, it was in this game, but not to an extent that we wanted. Like, sure, it could be frustrating at times, but that was the whole point. Trying to perform an impossible task with impossible controls. It's like what we said before. And that was the fun of it. Making a mess of the whole surgery, restarting and trying again. It was hilarious. And the game just seems to have forgotten that. Like, while I do like how it's trying new things with the environmental puzzles and the brief platforming sections, it just doesn't feel like a true surgeon simulator game. It just feels like a puzzle game with surgeon simulator elements sprinkled on top of it. It's like once you performed one surgery, it's literally a rinse and repeat throughout the game. Like nothing new is added. It's more or less the same. The puzzles to get to the surgery get more complex, but the surgery themselves remain the same. And that's really the biggest downside about this game. So with that said, I am giving Surgeon Simulator 2 a 6.5 out of 10. I had a lot of high hopes for this game, and I think I'm not on the same bandwagon as Lady Bun Buns. I think there is potential because they know how to make a good game. It's just they really missed the mark out on this one very badly, actually, very badly. But the game runs well. We didn't really experience any like technical issues. It's just the identity of the game is kind of lost. And I think if they give another try with Surgeon Simulator 3, I think they'll get it right. But with how this came out, it's good. I can't even say it's good. It's okay. It's an okay. It's an okay game. I probably would rate it even lower if I wasn't playing with you guys, but the co-op is really what kind of helped save it a little bit. I don't know. It sucks. Yeah. It sucks. Like my feeling. I had so much high hopes for this game, and it sucks. This is how it turned out. But you know what, you guys, you tried. You tried. No hard feelings.
I don't know. Surgeon Simulator 1 was great. Yeah. I think I had much higher expectations because I knew nothing about the game. I didn't watch anything on it.
Same
so I was thinking, I thought it was going to have that Surgeon Simulator 1 feel, but with a co-op.
Yeah.
And then when within the first hour, I'm like, oh my gosh, this doesn't even feel. It doesn't give me the vibes, that good vibes from the first one. Mm-hmm. It doesn't even feel like the first one. It's like completely different. I don't know. Anyways, sorry.
Which is it's hilarious because like, here's the weird part. In terms of critical acclamation of the first game did not do too well, actually. Believe it or not.
Really?
It scored a 71 on average for like the average reviewer score, like from critics, and then 6.0 on user score. So I guess maybe that's why it's like confusing for developers too. I don't know. Surgeon Simulator is a weird game. It appeals to people who love chaos and don't mind fighting bad controls when it's intentionally made to be that way, but also people hate it because of it's confusing. All I know is
a love-hate relationship.
Yeah. The true Surgeon Simulator fans, though, they just did not like this, and we can definitely see why. Mm-hmm. So, all right, next. Sorry, McMahon, me. This is all you.
No, you're good. It's all good. No, I totally feel you there. I feel like all of our we probably would have been saying completely different things, had we not played the first one and had expectations with this one. But Surgeon Simulator 2, this game took a vastly different approach from the first. If you're looking for a wonky surgery-focused experience, this is not the game for you. Play Surgeon Simulator 1, so long as you don't mind playing single player. If you're looking for a puzzle-based challenge involving some minor surgery and a cooperative experience, you probably won't be disappointed with Surgeon Simulator 2. While I did enjoy the silly physics and solving puzzles with my friends, my main disappointment came from the game opting for a much less in-depth surgery experience, just like all you guys were saying. I think people considering buying this game, they really need to be made aware of this prior to, pulling trigger on the game and just being disappointed, because I expected the game to maintain the surgery aspect, and so just like, I don't know how to explain it. Like when you first loaded up Surgeon Simulator 1 and you get your hands on the game, it's nothing like you ever experienced before. It's like it's a whole mind-blowing experience. It's like, this is so cool, this is so funny, this is new, and then Surgeon Simulator 2 happened. It's like, what happened? I think my experience would have been pretty different had I not played the first game, actually.
Yeah, I think so too.
After experiencing what Surgeon Simulator 1 had to offer, I brought some of those expectations going with me into the second game. But overall, I did enjoy what the game had to offer. And, playing the game with friends, for me, was the icing on the cake, really. And that's what really brought this game together. This is what made the game hilariously, like the hilariously wacky experience that it is. Overall, I give Surgeon Simulator 2 7.5 rubber duckies out of 10. It was fun while it lasted, but it didn't leave a huge impression on me as the first game did.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Awesome. So, with that said, Surgeon Simulator 2 Access All Areas gets our final average rating of 53.3%, or 16 out of 30.
Woo!
That's it. Woo! Bravo! Let's go! Surgeon Simulator 3! Let's go. But enough of that. Bonus mystery question time. Woo! Bonus mystery questions were prepared ahead of time by everyone here, but no one knows who or what will be asking the question. Now it's time to spin the wheel of mystery. Here we go. Who will be asking the question?
Drum roll, please.
Drum roll, please. Got a winner. There it is.
Let's go.
So, the bonus mystery question asker is Mr. McMahon Meat. Congrats, dude.
Darn it!
You get a call.
Yeah. What you got? What you got?
Okay. My bonus mystery question. Take a look around the room you're currently in.
Oh, frick. All right.
If you could take one object from around you right now,
yes,
bring it into Surgeon Simulator 2 to break Bob's ribs and remove his limbs with, what object would this be?
Oh, shoot.
It would be my ukulele.
It's like the little tiny one.
I don't know.
Little tiny. Yo, oh my god.
Oh my god, you like hit him with it, like break his ribs. It just makes like some ukulele sounds.
It's to break his. The question was to break his rib, right? Yeah, it would be my ukulele.
Limbs, whatever. Yeah, perform.
It was either that or my little penguin plush holding an ice cream. But then the penguin I suddenly imagined about putting it inside Bob's cavity.
Oh,
Not so much break his rib with, just like toss it in there
like
and
the little
shove it
flair,
under
the
his
finishing touch.
colon.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. I got mine. So this was a gift from one of my cousins, Tailman and Ningo. It's from this game you might know.
So it holds value.
Yeah, it's from this game that you may know, Mr. McMahon. It's called Overwatch. And they got me this giant Roadhog hook.
Oh my god, that's perfect.
So that's exactly what I would use to break those ribs. And because it's like a hook, I can scoop out all the organs and everything. It'd be great. Just like in the game.
Roadhog all the organs out.
I would just pull every organ out, just chucking this giant meat hook into the person's chest cavity, ripping it out, in scorpion style. That's what I would use. For sure. Next.
Okay. Yeah, I even though I prepared the question, I really
didn't have an answer.
I didn't really have an answer. But like in the short amount of time we were given, I decided I would use my microphone. This thing is a tank.
God.
This thing is a tank. This is the Rode Procaster. Okay, so it's much heavier than it looks. It's got like cast iron aluminum on the outside, whatever. So it's really heavy and it's very sturdy. I've dropped this thing on hard concrete and it's held up. It's fine.
Crap.
It's perfectly fine. You know, I would remove the shock mount, of course. But yeah, you could easily use that to
like
break someone's ribs. Yeah, a bludgeoning tool. Tool. It can work as a scalpel as long as, you know, if you just believe it. Just believe in yourself. It's a scalpel. You remove someone's limbs with it.
What's your mic called?
Take a little extra time. This is the Rode Procaster.
Rode Procaster mic.
It is a tank.
Oh my god.
It's hefty, very hefty. My arm mount can barely hold it, so I had to purchase
it's just like a pure chunk of metal, basically.
Yeah, essentially, yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Huh.
Are you Googling it too?
Yeah.
Great surgery too.
I'm looking at it right now.
I'm trying to see how much it weighs.
Yeah, how much does it weigh? Rodecaster mic weight. 1.64 pounds.
0.64 pounds.
Is hefty and requires a stand that can carry its weight. Dang. Solidly built with a full metal body. Dang. That's good for
So it's a surgery tool.
Yeah, basically. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I like it.
That's what I would use.
All right. So that concludes this episode of Video Game Book Club. Thank you for the question, Mr. McMahon Meat.
Welcome.
I like how I think that's the fastest we have ever answered a bonus mystery question because everybody already knew exactly what they were going to use just by looking around.
Yeah,
that was the point.
Yeah. Typically it's like
food.
Yeah.
Hello.
Because usually we do like a 1 minute timer and then we get back into it. But no, everybody just knew straight away what they were going to kill with. I mean, perform surgery with.
Who said that?
That's great.
Trust me, I'm a surgilide minulator.
Yeah. So thank you everyone for tuning in. And as always, everyone's links to their YouTube, Twitches, Twitter, social media, if they use it, will be in the description box below. Take care. Have a good one, and we'll catch you in the next episode of Video Game Book Club. Say goodbye, everyone.
Peace.
Bye.